What's up everybody? I'm Memento Mori and today I'm going to be unboxing a statue that I had been waiting on for quite some time to come into my collection, the 1/4 scale Amazing Spider-Man by Sideshow Collectables. Stick around. So it was quite surprising when Sideshow Collectables announced that they were going to be doing another Spider-Man 1/4 scale statue, especially after they'd only just finished releasing the last in their quarter scale line of the last lot of Spider-Man statues. Fortunately, however, I really fell in love with the pose and the dynamic nature of this particular statue. So, let's crack it open and take a look inside. Okay, so we have quite a few pieces here. Let's get this cleaned up. Okay, and here we have the Spider-Man statue fully unwrapped and ready to assemble. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare putting this together with all of these different tendrils and bits and pieces. So these are supposed to resemble Dr. Ock's tentacle arms, which is a really nice effects running through here. Getting this together is going to be actually quite painful. As I was pulling it apart, I also found that each of these claws disassemble slowly. And inside you can actually see they come with batteries. So these are the light up particle effects that we'll be able to get running. Spider-Man's body himself. This is really nice. The colours are much darker than on the previous statue, but it works in really well for the more modern Spider-Man aesthetic. Hopefully these details are coming through, but there's a nice textured weathered pattern that runs right throughout the costume, so it's not all slick and shiny. You can see all of the different shades and tones of blue that they've used to help define the muscles, which is a really nice way of giving it that deep 3D effect. It's kind of a leaner Spider-Man statue, all things considered, which is good, because Spider-Man's not supposed to be really big and bulky. He's supposed to be skinny and agile. Of course, we have the base. The base is super heavy, which of course it's going to need to be in order to support the dynamic nature of this particular statue. As you can see, all of these statues are actually numbered. This one is number 272 of 2000, and I think there's about another 1500 of the exclusive. So 3,500 of this particular statue exists worldwide. Wow, man, that is really heavy. It's another big piece. I really like what they've done with the blue shading in around here to give the screen its cracked approach. I think the only thing left to really show off is, of course, probably the most important piece, the portrait. So this is more of the Steve Ditko, John Romita style of drawing the portrait. Probably the most popular, well-known portraits of Spidey that exist in artwork today come from Todd McFarlane. He did the really big open eyes. I prefer this look. This is more representative of the early era of Spidey and perhaps the more modern era of Spidey that was under the guidance of Dan Slott. Alright, time to get this monster of a statue assembled. Let's go. Man, putting together this statue was kind of a nightmare. All of these little tendrils that are coming out all line up in very precise ways. Even the keys on it were very delicate. Putting this particular long strand on, I was terrified it was going to snap in my hands. I had to be really, really careful, but overall, I'm super happy with the way this statue turned out. It is absolutely phenomenal. The pose is super dynamic. Spider-Man looks strong without looking super beefy, which is sometimes a problem with the custom statues at least. Sideshow absolutely knocked this statue out of the park. It's clean, it's dynamic, it's visually interesting. It is an absolute monster. I can't wait to stick it in with the rest of my statues, to be honest. It is not the first Spider-Man statue I had, but it's probably going to be one of the last ones unless they can somehow top this pose. Spider-Man is without a doubt my favourite superhero of all time, so I'm super glad to be putting this statue into my collection. He has the best rogues gallery, but the Green Goblin, the Hobgoblin, Venom, Carnage, all the way down to Shocker, Electro, even the Lizard. The issue with Juggernaut is still one of the all-time classic runs. I even think Spider-Man is probably the best superhero created by Stan Lee in collaboration with Steve Ditko all the way back in 1962. Let's face it, I'm never actually going to own the very first appearance of Spider-Man. The first appearance of Spider-Man recently sold for $3.6 million US in a 9.6 condition. Even on the low end of the scale, we're still talking anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 just for a printed copy of this particular book. Even if I'm never going to particularly own the first appearance of Spider-Man, I'm super glad to have this statue to go in and plug the Amazing Fantasy 15 size hole in my heart. Stick around for more statue unboxings. I still have another couple I need to get up and into my collection. So until then, later days.